Hello, darlings. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're another YouTuber, let me know down in the comments and I will sub you back. Now stay safe, get your boosters, and here's the video. Hello, darlings. It's Brandy here. Today we are going to play with some Rosalind Polygel. But first, it's shameless promotion time. If y'all have not seen my Nicki Minaj inspired Freaky Girl nail set, you have to go check out the video. It will be a video that will have some random giveaway winner. So yeah, go check that out for sure. I tried to leave the music on, but you couldn't understand what I was saying even when I had it down low. But I'm very happy with those. So yeah. So while stuff is going on up here that you can take a look at, I want to talk to you about the random giveaways. Again, what you need to do is subscribe, like, make a comment, and hopefully stay long enough that it will count as a view and it will help my algorithms. Please and thank you. I am going to switch it up and do like a secret word one. And like I said, I'm going to ask other random people to pick a winner. So yeah. And with Halloween and summer, you know, glow in the dark is fire. So don't forget we have those stickers as well. And we do have the Halloween stuff coming. So save some dough because you're going to want everything, I promise. And I'm going to do a big sale on our stickers especially. And they're going to be super, super, super low. Like, I just want to get rid of them prices, okay? So keep that in mind as well. Now, don't forget to use your codes KF10, SureUB10, or Sassy10 to save yourself 10% on your order. So now let's get on with the video. Okay, y'all, so this is a PR package from Rosalind on Amazon. You get two 60 ml bottles for $15. Now, that is a really good price, even compared to Aliexpress prices. And, you know, Aliexpress, it could take up to 2 months. It can come in 10 days sometimes, and you're like, what the fuck? You know, but when you really need something, of course, it takes forever. So, they did send me 2 tubes of the same color. It's a soft pink. I would have preferred like a pink and a white or a color and a white, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll do with the with the pink. And you guys get to see some little mistakes that I made because I haven't used my Flexi hand in a long, long time. So I kind of forgot how to use them, so there will be a little bit of fumbling and shit going on. So I hope you enjoy that. So I'm not going to read you everything that's in the pamphlet, but it has the instructions, it has troubleshooting stuff, it has like removal and tips, you know, to help with beginners. So I figured, you know, if you need that information, leave the questions in the comments and I will give it to you, okay? But me sitting here reading this would make the video even longer, so I figured I would just kind of get that out the way. And I couldn't hold the damn paper. It just kept flopping out of my hand. I don't know what was going on with my left hand, but it was just like flop, flop, flop. See? Oh, no, that was my right hand, but still. So yeah, so here's the troubleshooting questions that can help with it. And you know, if you do have issues with the application, hopefully this video will help you out a little bit. It does say you have to drill off the polygel. It's not going to soak off, so that is something else to be aware of. Okay, so right after this is where I start making mistakes. And I decided to leave it in because y'all know I don't care. If my mistakes can help someone else not make that mistake, you know, I'm gonna leave it in because, you know, I ain't got no shame. You know, I don't. So I'm just trying to show the color of the polygel next to my black glove. And it is a very pretty pink. It does match the front, which is very nice. Now, I took some random fingers, right? Because when I was doing polygel before, I was using my Flexi hand, but I always used it on the stand, and I would have to rearrange my whole desk to be able to use it. So I figured, okay, I'll just take, the fingers off and do it that way. So now I cleaned out my little dish that I got originally for acrylic monomer, but it's way too small. So my girl Katherine hooked me up with a big one that does not fall over no matter how hard you bump it, because yes, your girl is a mess, right? Okay, so I did speed this up a lot. I went to put the polygel right on there, and I was like, duh, can't do that because, you got to do all the prep first, right? So I try to buff the nail falls off, right? Because those are the size and the shape that they send you when they send you the Flexi hand, right? So the nail popped off. Now I am taking the base coat from my Voxery Glow in the Dark set, because Voxery and Rosalind are sister companies. So I had already had the polygel on the spatula, and it kind of melted over the side a little bit of the, see, look at that fucking mess. I was trying to keep the nail in the finger, but not get the polygel on my glove, and it was such a gloopy, messy shape that it just ended up looking like a bumpy railroad, you know what I mean? So yeah, I ended up just pulling that off and starting with a longer nail. But I still have problems because, and of course it fell wet side down, right? So yeah, that just got tossed right in the trash. Straight up garbage. So I hope that taught you all something. Use the long tips in your Flexi hands, okay? Or Flexi finger, whatever you want to call it. Now with these hands, you can get pretty much any kind of nail product on there, and then once it dries, it will peel right off. So you don't have to worry about if you make a mess with acrylic or polygel or even just regular gel polish, because like I said, once it dries, you can just peel it all right off. So that is nice to know. So I buffed it with the, little cheap nail buffer, not an actual file, just to get the grit on the surface so that the base coat will, soak into the nail itself and it will attach better. Now, when you're putting any kind of gel polish on a nail that is supposed to be, a real person, and I tried to keep the finger straight so that it wasn't like the way that it worked on a tip, but I need that stand. Next time, it will be on the stand, okay? So, at the tip, or at the top of the nail, I take the gel polish and let it pool a little bit and then push it up towards the cuticle, right? Now, that had already gone in the lamp by the time I'm trying to get this polygel out. I think the problem was I was trying to treat the finger like a nail tip instead of like a person's finger. You know what I mean? So I did the whole toothpaste thing because I figured if I needed to add any more, I could. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up just a little bit because, it would be a long video. So when you are applying the polygel, it's the same sort of thing with the gel polish. You kind of push the product up towards the cuticle. But the thing with polygel is that makes it so nice is that you can go right up to the cuticle with your brush and just kind of, follow the, like the letter N kind of, like around a small letter N around the top. And you can get it as close to the cuticle as possible without having a big old mess on the sides. Or I've even seen people with acrylic, put it up underneath that little ridge that your cuticle has after you've cleaned it, so that your growth time will be longer, so that you won't have to come in for fills quite as much. I've never actually tried that, but it seems to be a little bit popular, so I figured I'd mention it. Now here I've got the polygel all over the nail, but of course there's some lumps and bumps, but this one actually self-levels very, very nicely. And it's just like gel polish. You're going to want to, you know, put it to the side and let it self-level before you put it in the lamp, because that will help get rid of a lot of the little bumps that you're not catching, right? So I do tend to wet my brush and then kind of like pull it down the nail and then up the nail to try to smooth it out a little bit. And this is just an overlay. I don't even think I mentioned that at the beginning. I'll put a little, you know, the words on the screen, so, because, you know, I forgot. So this is what I meant about pushing the polygel right up to the cuticle area. And now I'm just kind of dragging it along down the nail very lightly. So yeah, it does take a bit of time, because usually when you're seeing stuff like this done, it's sped up a lot. And this is only sped up minorly, because I did want to show you how long an overlay can possibly take. Now, if you were a little neater on the application than I was, you might not have to play with it so long. But you guys know you guys know I love to play with it. Okay, now that I have control of myself a little bit more, I am going to speed this up a little bit, and then we will go to the puppet dual form part of the video once we're done with this nail. So I was going to leave it like that, but of course I was not happy with the way it was looking, so I went to it again with my brush, and I am again just trying to smooth the sides, because, you know, you can fix a lot of mistakes with filing, but there are just times when it's too much. So this was the finished look after I put it in the lamp. There's no top coat, it's not filed, anything. I'm about to get into the filing, and it does stay on the nail for the most, stay on the finger for the most part. So yes, longer nails are better when it comes to this stuff. And I did try to keep it like I was using somebody's hand, but like I said, I need the stand. The stand has to be there with the fingers. So again, I will use the stand next time. Now, when you're filing, you want to file in one direction, pick it up and keep filing that one direction. You don't want to go back and forth. It gives you less control, and it affects the way that the nail or whatever you're filing may look like because of the way the stroke pattern is. I don't know. It was explained to me by a painter, so yeah, but that's how you're supposed to do it. And as long as you're careful with your file, you can file on your Flexi hand with no problem. I mean, if you do catch the cuticle area, you might get some small rips, so you need to be careful with that. But besides that, yeah. So, and the top coat goes the same as the base coat. I put kind of a blob, and then I push it right up into the cuticle area as far as I can go. And then on the sides, you want to make sure you're as close to the sidewall as possible, but you don't want to get any polish on your client's fingers, so you kind of need to be careful. It's different than with tips, nail tips, press-on tips. You know, because this channel was made for press-ons way before COVID and all that stuff. So, but I used to be really good with polygel and poppets, but this, you know, I should have took a refresher. That's what I should have done. Now, I still have that little square tip in there like a dummy, right? But it always worked for me before when it came to dual forms. So the way you pick out a dual form size is you can start around the size of the nail. Well, it depends. If you're on a finger, you will know, on a fake hand, you will know the size of the finger. But if it's on a person, I feel like the easiest way is to just dig through them and see what looks like it might fit. And yeah, and you always want to go for a little bit bigger than smaller, because you can always file away the little bit extra, but you know, it doesn't work to add more on. And these aren't sized by number or anything. They were just in a bag. Obviously, you just saw me dump them out. So I'm just trying to pick the right size. I actually went with a size that looked exactly like the same size, but the number wasn't the same. But it turned out being a little bit small. So like I said, bigger is better. So I'm going in with the buffer here, and you would think I would have learned from the first time, right? Yeah, I know my buffer's a little jacked up, but I love it. And it's only on work on tips and stuff, so, you know, whatever. If it was a client, I would either get the kind that you can sanitize, or I would have to break out a new one each time because ew. So, yeah, but since they work on just nail tips for the channel, that's fine. And here I wiped it off with alcohol, and I am going in with the base coat up to the cuticle area, you know, pushing that extra polish in the front of it, and then just kind of sweeping down. I did not cap the free edge, which is something that you need to do, so yeah, I didn't even realize it at the time. Okay, so I'm taking the tube of polygel and I am putting it in the dual form. Now, please remember, I've been working on double XL nail tips for at least a year, if not more. And since my Instagram actually, you know, had that whole problem with getting hacked and I lost all my followers, I lost a lot of the pictures. Not all of them, but yeah, a lot. So anyways, I put enough polygel in there for it to be a fairly long nail. Now, there was hacks that came out where you can take full press-on tips and use that as a dual form, and then you would have the shape already made for you so that you didn't have to worry about uneven sides, because yeah, I did have that problem as well. Now here I'm putting the nail on, but see where that polygel is popping off on the side over there? That ended up becoming a thin area. It actually did on both sides. So it was multiple problems. I should have used the larger side first of all. And then I pushed too hard, but to take the actual dual form off, it would have been a hot mess. So I'm also flipping it over to make sure that where I stuck it underneath, you want to spread that out as well. Otherwise, there will be like this weird ledge under their fingernail, and it just, yeah, it's not good. So once I remembered I had to do that, it made the nail fairly long, which I am happy with, and I'm just cleaning up the sides. But I will show you, you know, the problem after it goes in through the lamp. So that was that. I went with it, and now I'm trying to see the nails coming out because I didn't use a longer nail at first. And at this point, I'm like, mother, you know? So I pull the poppet off, put the fingernail back in there, and it just won't stay, right? So I end up filing it off the finger because it just kept popping out and it was driving me freaking nuts, right? So I hope that people are learning from my mistakes because yeah, it's a hot mess. That's okay though. That's okay though. So yeah, so I did the filing off the nail. It did allow me to make the cuticle area much cleaner than it would have been. I really should have done a practice video, or I mean a practice for it before I did the video. But y'all know I like to leave my bloopers in, so let's leave them in, right? So that's how it looked. So that's how it looked. I am going to put the Lovcarrie top coat on and same thing, just push it up towards the cuticle area. And now once I put it in the lamp, I'm going to show you exactly how thin the sides looked. And it's not a matter of looks, it's a matter of structure of nail. And there would probably have been lifting there, and then, you know, the nail pops off. So this is the overlay. I'm always confident with that. And I'm always picking at little things on the fingers. That's why, it's another reason why. Now this was the dual form one. Now, and if you look on that area where I'm pointing, you can see that thinner color. That is where there would have been lifting, probably because of the not appropriate amount of polygel was on there. So this is it, my darlings. Yes, Rosalind polygel, awesome price. 2 60ml bottles for $15, which is not a bad price at all. Link will be in the description box. Also, don't forget about the giveaways, the 2 giveaways. Show Leslie some love, please. Give her some watch time. And yes, there are going to be other sponsors. Please go check out the website. There is a whole bunch of different cool stuff there. Even if you just go to window shop, it really helps me out. So please and thank you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube-y stuff. And that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a marvelous day. And thanks again. Mwah.